Not quite as good.
All right, well, let's see if those slight differences end up making the biggest of impact. Mage mirrors. And we've seen some a little bit of action with Mage lately, you know, just a tiny bit. And overall, it's been quite volatile with some of the results. I personally feel like Mage is such an interesting but also scary spot for any competitor because there's so many different ways for Mage to kill you, and there's just so many different things to account for that it almost feels somewhat impossible to try to account for all of it. And so it's really hard to say as we go into this first game. Monsanto has the Mana Giant and the Evocation already ready to go. No Sorcerer's Apprentice. Killinallday does have the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and he actually has a reasonable curve to start things off. So, arguable that you might even be feeling good to keep all this hand from Killin's side, but I'm sure he might feel like he wants to get a little bit better options than what he has right now.
Yeah. The magic trick's the one where, yeah, I think the magic trick's the one where I just don't really see it. It's flexible, but in this point, you don't really want flexibility. You want just the goods.
Right.
And you're not on coin, so you'd rather have something that you can play for tempo that's not Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh, picks up. I didn't see what he picked. Okay, so picks up Ray of Frost and the lab partner. So he's got a good curve here. It's just, can he find the payoff cards? Can he find the Mana Cyclone to be able to make use of the Sorcerer's Apprentice and the cheap spells that he's going to get?
Right. Monsanto starting things off with the Primordial Studies.
And his own lab partner. Most likely. The Cobalt Geomancer costs one more for the same amount of stats, just distributed differently.
Time runs out on me.
And Downright Mage is just a worse lab partner in a lot of situations.
Right. There's just not. You just want to actually get that tempo immediately back. So, already started discounting the Mana Giant as well. Killin has the Magic Trick. We kind of talked about that already before. Doesn't seem like the time to necessarily go for it. What you could do is play the Violet Spellwing and just kind of pass here. Or you could invest in Magic Trick to see if you want to do something with the mana on the following turn. Like sometimes Magic Trick can give you like an Arcane Intellect. So you can also just set up for that. Brain Freeze works. It helps shut off your opponent's ability to cram session on 2. I guess you could also Arcane Breath if you're a little bit more fan of dragons. All kind of works.
I don't necessarily know if I'm
going for the Violet Spellwing instead.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if I'm too worried about like cram session because it feels like a pretty heavy resource to use to shut off the possibility of a card. A card that, you know, he's drawing one extra card and giving up tempo on his turn. I'd like the Violet Spellwing here to bank the Arcane Missiles. But Killin again, still looking for a payoff turn. Still looking for Mana Cyclone, and even if he finds it next turn, he's still got to wait. So this is kind of an opening for Monsanto. Primordial Studies again. There's the Astromancer, Solarian. Those are the ones you're looking for. More of those.
Very much so.
Ooh. Ooh.
So we want to use the Arcane Missiles as well here, probably, to take down stuff, but it's not guaranteed. What's the best way to go about this, then?
I think I'm just hitting, pinging, and playing Violet Spellwing, but I guess you don't want to take the 3 damage from the Solarian Prime.
Wow. Really is the year of killing all day, if that's going to be any indication of how the series is going to go.
Woo! That's a hand right there.
You want to
Think
go
he
for it
can
now?
wait one more turn?
Yeah. Just the reason why I would like I don't mind it now is because Din Mana Giant is playable on 4. And I think that's kind of what Monsanto thinks about right here.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, devolving
Missiles.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, wow. Mana Cyclone.
Oh, he hits a Conch Calling
Finds
too.
a Conjurer's Calling. What? Okay, hits Jandis for the following turn, so killing. Probably feeling pretty good right around now.
Yeah, so looks like it's just a ping Sorcerer Apprentice trade one, face with the other.
Except that, you know, Monsanto's going to summon Jandis stats on 4. But I mean, that's probably why killing. He probably knew that was going to happen. When you play enough of the mage, you kind of realize that your opponent's charging the mana giant. So he knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, but the Conjurer's Calling's the kicker here.
Wow. Venture Co-Mercenary. That's one of the biggest you can get. That's huge.
Yeah, but in this situation, it feels like it doesn't even matter how big the minions are, unless it's an 8/8. And Mana Giant still gets a trade over it. Get Conjurer's Calling. Maybe you expect that, so you actually put it on the Venture Co-Mercenary. I think that's a little too fancy. Puts it on the Plate Breaker instead. Solarian Prime John.
Yeah, already has Solarian Prime ready to go for the following turns. Monsanto probably thinking about how he wants to go about it, given that his giant can get can just take this value trade. So maybe he's considering the mind games of it.
I think it's as simple as you trade over the Jandis with the Mana Cyclone, trade over the biggest attack minion, and then Conjurer's Calling. I mean, it's a 5/5 on board. I mean, you can Conjurer's Calling first, then maybe even pick up something that you can trade into the Plate Breaker. Just kind of ignore the mind games and just make your strongest play.
Wow. Oh. Oh, jeez. Finds an Alakir, gets the right trade, and what the Alakir allowed was Monsanto to take the trade with the Mana Cyclone. Oh my goodness. Killen might already be muscled out of this one.
Yep, he needs to pop off right now because he needs to try and find something with this Cram Session, like the Mana Cyclone with this Cram Session. But doesn't hit it, and I mean, 2 Astromancer Solarians, like that's his bailout right now. Is drawing one of those primes, and it's going to be multiple turns before that happens because Monsanto might just ignore these.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he doesn't have a preemptive freeze or 1 extra spell damage because he can't kill this Geppetto Joy Buzz, meaning that Monsanto gets to go again. The Conjurer's Calling. At the very least, he can freeze just to keep his board more resilient.
Time runs out on me.
Wow. Full dedicated freeze. I guess this is in case he draws Evocation off the top?
Yeah, he wants to protect this Sorcerer Apprentice at all costs. So, I mean, I think this is a pretty easy turn for Monsanto. You Icicle the Sorcerer Apprentice. Well, Conjurer's Calling the Geppetto first. just to see if you get like a charger or rusher.
What to do? What to
I guess Sorcerer Apprentice allows you to do both.
Someday I'll be just like you.
So Terralion just kills off a minion here, killing.
What's the purpose of the Sorcerer Apprentice?
Huh. Because he spent 2 mana to get a 2 mana discount.
And his
Not
Sorcerer Apprentice just
entirely
dies.
sure. Yeah. Maybe just tempo. It's tempo mage, TJ. You gotta play for tempo. Get a 3/2 on the board for free.
Just no reason.
Or is it just me?
You want to absorb damage with the Shinvala, I guess. I mean, Solarian Prime is out, right? Evocation, maybe.
Something real.
Yes.
These are not good.
Well, that's a good start. These are some pretty bad 5 mana minions coming out from Monsanto's Illusions. And killing just pretty much sitting dead in the water until he picks up something big.
There it is!
Oh my gosh. It is time,
bell
TJ.
we can ring
It is
somewhere?
time to prime.
Fireball.
Okay, that helps. Nice barrier, counter spell.
Power of
Power
creation.
of creation. Big minions. Just like that, Killing All Day is back in the game.
But wait, Daniel.
But wait, there's more.
You have forgotten. Monsanto
natural
also
predator.
has a Solarian Prime.
Oh yeah, the natural predator Solarian Prime is.
I have become more.
Top answer still available on the board. Show me a Solarian Prime. Oh God.
I mean, this
Oh,
is not
God.
good. Evocation. I mean, you can't capitalize. There's a mirror entity on the other side of this as well. Right? Wait, no?
No,
Wasn't
it
there?
was counterspell and ice barrier for killing.
Oh, I thought it was a mirror entity. Huh.
No, maybe
Weird.
it's because you saw the 2 mirrors from Monsanto.
I
Hmm.
thought I saw it last turn, but whatever. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's not mirror entity. Actually, wait. Yes, it was. It's a conspiracy.
Time runs out on me.
So the counterspell and then Mana Giant. What kind of conspiracy, TJ? Conspiracy to make you look bad for casting Tempo Mage? here?
Conspiracy for
After
killing all day
Buzzy
to
said
lose.
that you're smarter than 90% of GMs. That Ray of Frost is really unfortunate for killing because there's a counter spell, and they would otherwise be one of the best draws that you could ask for right now.
Yep.
Oof. And because of the counter spell, you don't actually get the proc on it, so you don't get the twin spell, you don't get the mana cyclone spells. Never mind. Killing is back in the exact same spot. But hey, it's like we said, the natural predator to the Solarian Prime
Guess what,
is
Dan?
itself.
There is still a Solarian Prime lurking. Hunting, waiting to
in
strike.
Killen's, yeah, that's right. He has 2 Solarian
In Killen's deck.
Solarian Primes.
This ain't over.
That's right. Solarian Prime 2, Electric Boogaloo. Ice Barrier. So I guess at this point, Monsanto has to debate if he wants to play Chenvala. He might feel ahead enough that he's legitimately playing around the second Solarian Prime.
I mean, I think it also
Okay.
sets up lethal, right? If you go Shinvala Arcane Missiles into Pyroblast, you're setting up 12, 22 damage. Like, it's also just a lethal setup. I guess you honestly don't even need the Shinvala for the lethal setup. You just need Arcane Missiles. Cram session.
Cram session.
Yep, I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Time runs out on me.
Well, doesn't find a third spell.
Oh, but find
But
some
he
Mana
can
Cyclone.
play the Mana Cyclone. Yeah, and oh, wait, TJ.
There's a 2-mana minion!
There's a 2-mana minion.
It's Spellbender, though, isn't it?
I
Spellbender Mirror?
think it's Mirror Entity. Oh yeah, I think.
Oh! It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It exists!
Oh my
it exists!
God!
That's the first time I've ever seen it!
What? He actually did it,
It exists!
and Monsanto can't believe it. Wait, what?
I knew I wore the right
Oh
shirt today.
my God!
I've
TJ
never
's
seen
the
it
shirt.
before. That's the first time I've ever seen it. I always thought we were joking when we said that wasn't out.
No, it's not a joke at all. It's just an unlikely possibility. Like
That's the
many
first time
other
I've ever
things that
seen it.
Mage manages to overcome.
I've casted thousands of hours of Hearthstone, played tens of thousands of games. I've seen it used as an out, or tried to be used as an out, hundreds of times. That's the first time it's ever happened.
I just wanted to keep exponentially growing. You've watched millions of hours
What to
of
do,
streams.
What to do?
You've played trillions of minutes of Tempo Mage.
Time runs out on me.
Oh wow, more
I
primes.
will crush your delusions of grandeur.
I like how that's just a, ooh, oh wow. More primes, ooh. Ah, jeez. I mean,
What's
Killen's still in a
so
terrible spot.
interesting is that Killen still can win.
Yeah,
Except
but
he
he's
draws
still in a
Solarian
terrible
Prime.
spot.
Oh, he's in an awful spot.
Okay.
And yet there's a ray of hope. It's very small.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's
But it's
dead
there.
if he doesn't kill these minions.
Would you like one of the other cards that's already in your hand?
Wand, get wand free!
Okay, Font of Power.
Yeah,
No.
that's game.
Oh, he still has another Font of Power.
What can he find, though?
He can find another Malagos. So you take Malagos, you Font of Power, you find another Malagos aspect of magic, discover another spell, Frost Nova.
Yeah, but he's not going to Frost Nova. He doesn't expect the 12 damage. Nope, still dead. Nobody expects the 12 damage Pyroblast.
We must band together, united for Dalaran!
Yes. Well, what a chaotic game number one. But in the end, the player that was in the advantage did end up closing it out. It's just that there's a lot of comeback tools that killinallday had to summon. As game number one goes over to Monsanto, as he is 2 games away from going to the grand final.
he's trying to. He can't do it. He was trying to hold back a smile, but then he realized he couldn't do it. What a weird game to start things off. Like, just back and forth. Gets a huge pop-off turn, gets a drop Mana Giant early on. Conjures calling, clears the board with Alakir. But then Solarian Prime comes out, puts Killen in lead on board. But then Solarian Prime comes out again, and It at least disrupts what Killen's trying to do. And then the Doomsayer, who Conjurer's calling. First time I've ever seen it. I mean, if that's any indication of how the rest of the series is going to go, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
It's gonna be a wild one, if that's any indication. So we're gonna take a few minutes and take a break. And when we come back, we're gonna have game number 2 between Monsanto and killinallday. You're watching the Hearthstone Grandmasters final day of season 2.
Hearthstone Grandmasters is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch today and rank up to America's largest 5G network. T-Mobile.
I don't know any, I think.
What do you call an old snowman?
Water.
You know the German knock-knock joke? Knock knock. Who's there? We will ask the questions.
No, I'm not a joke guy.
What is curved, yellow, but not a banana? Secretly a banana.
There's only one joke I can think of. Yeah, TJ, what was first? The egg or the chicken?
Chicken.
Chuck Norris.
What is this, 2008? Yes.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hearthstone Grandmasters. We're currently in the middle of our second semifinal today between Monsanto and killinallday. The Mage Mirror was basically exactly what we thought it would be. It delivered, and we do end up with a 1-0 lead for Monsanto. Now we have Rogue and Demon Hunter remaining for Monsanto, while killinallday has Druid. That is that main difference in their lineups, and we have seen that Druid be that fourth deck flex a lot of times for these players if they choose to deviate from the lineup. killinallday is going to turn to the Druid for game number 2 as well.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't like Killen's Druid as much as I liked Muzzy's previously, and I kind of explained this, I think, over the course of the group stage, of the course of their group. I do feel like you need additional ramp with the change to Guardian Animals, and just kind of with the metagame. You can't afford to have those dead games where you don't hit ramp. Muzzy runs double Overgrowth and double Wild Growth. which just allows him to hit those power turns faster. He does cut a little bit of maximum power in order to make that happen, but I honestly think it's more consistent. Killing All Day's deck is going to have bigger spikes, but it's going to have lower lows because he'll have more games where he doesn't hit ramp. So we'll see though. Aussie's out, Killing All Day's still in for now, so we got to just focus on his deck and what his deck can do. And with Guardian Animals in the keep, you're looking for Overgrowth, looking for Lightning Bloom, looking for any way to just get that Guardian Animals out faster.
Yeah, that's right. Getting that front-loaded ramp or permanent ramp, all important. Monsanto with the Underbelly Fence, Plagiarized Questing Adventure, meh. Tosses away stuff, wants to keep the Questing Adventure to have good pump-up options. Didn't really find anything super meaningful, so we'll go ahead and wait to see if he draws anything really powerful to combo with that Questing Adventure.
Well, I mean, this is a start, right? Druid can't play the early game without playing spells. Pharaoh Cat could be the card that gives you a card from another class. This is kind of the rogue's form of ramping up.
Right. Incidentally, if you do end up playing the Questing Adventure, that works really nicely with Killen's Nature Studies and Wrath, so you can hero power and draw a card. Looks like Killen has decided to turn on the light in his bedroom as well. Keep your vision sharp.
Yeah, I have enough lights. Too many.
I have so many lights pointed at my face, TJ. It's a little much sometimes.
2 pointed at my face. 2 pointed at this thing behind me. 1 pointed at my back.
Yeah. Probably.
And then I have my 2-year-old son who just
point.
stands slightly off screen and holds the 6th light the entire broadcast.
Well, I was about to say, like, if you somehow your sons have stumbled upon laser pointers and just start playing around and pointing it at your eyes. But we digress. Monsanto has a way to be proactive onto the board here with the Candle Maker, but kind of wondering if he wants to play this Dragon Sword right now to be a little bit more mana efficient, and also he might be able to find like a good legendary to play, like a solid 3 mana Mishifin. Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Those are all really good.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of these are really good options that I do not mind.
I think Varanus is the best.
Well, I mean... Oh, he picks those Dormu. Why not just help your opponent ramp? Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Later on in the game, it's a 4-mana 8/8, but right now it's like just death. So this is kind of what I was talking about with the discussion about how you need to build Druid right now. That second exotic Mount Seller is a wild growth in a lot of the lists that I liked the most, Muzzies included. It feels like this happens too often, where Guardian Animals is just slightly out of reach with the amount of ramp that he previously had. He's able to get a Twilight Runner on the board, but his hand is just so expensive. Even if he picks up Wild Growth, that's a full turn. Even if he picks up Lightning Bloom off of this Twilight Runner, he still can't play Guardian Animals from hand. Also, he's drawn 2 of his beasts with both of his Guardian Animals in hand. I mean, he's just as likely to hit another beast than he is to hit Overgrowth in his deck. So this is not a situation I like to be in, especially against Rogue, who can have incredibly explosive turns.
Get explosive. Abomination. The original Big Gas. Scrap Golem. I mean, both of these are a little bit awkward with the way they interact. I guess not really Scrap Golem. It's just more like if you pick Abomination, then you weaken your board because it's easy for your opponent to kill. Pick the Scrap Golem, well, you make your best minion very weak. So, Killen does have 2 spots in his hand that he can draw immediately with this Twilight Runner to start things off.
What to do?
I guess at this point you just play another 5-drop, or you because the Lightning Bloom is still very valuable for the Guardian Animals in the following turn. Killen has played Twilight Runner and 2 Threshers. Is that right?
Just a 1
so
Thresher.
He still has
Give me
just
a
1 Thresher. So he still has the Teacher's Pen, the Twilight Runner in his deck.
Yep.
Get one free.
Blizzard, Netherwind Portal, Power Creation, all cards that are very heavy, and I think that's ultimately why Monsanto stayed away from like Zeraku and some of the other dragons. They're just so expensive, and that's not really what Rogue does best. Rogue is really powerful by combining a bunch of cheap cards and then using very strong individual spells or battle cries in order to get ahead on board, like a Blackjack Center or Sap or a Vendetta, like that kind of stuff. If you're playing like 9-drop Vendetta, that's not really what makes Rogue good. So Monsanto keeping his hand lower curve, Netherwind Portal makes more sense here.
Yep, and just gets to
Back
clear
Sap Vendetta.
and still push. So
Strong
this is
board.
yeah, I mean, without early ramp, this is almost an insurmountable situation for Survival Druid. There's just absolutely no way that Killen can touch this this questing adventure. At least not enough to kill it, right? Because his ideal pull is the Thresher plus anything else. The anything else goes over the Scrap Golem. The Thresher goes into the 3/4, and then what? You still don't kill anything. Does he have a choice? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Guardian Animals comes out.
So if he draws second Lightning Bloom, he pulls Twilight Runner, draws second Lightning Bloom and second Crystal Power, he can clear the board.
It's weird because what if he doesn't draw and then he just gets run over by this questing adventure? Oh no. Swing and a miss. And I guess this is an example of cards like Guardian Animals, their nerf being felt in full effect. Had Killen been able to do it a turn earlier, this would have been a different scenario entirely. Monsanto starts off with the magic trick here. Deadly Poison's good for me. Oh, okay. Prep. I was thinking Deadly Poison since it immediately killed off the Lake Thresher. Is he going to go perhaps a level deeper in Secret Passage this turn?
Oh.
Oh. He is, but he's going to Netherwind Portal first because he wants to find Blackjack Stunner. Or perhaps other synergies with it?
Yeah, the hand is full, so Blackjack Stunner is just a kill.
Right. 2 stunners. Oh, he actually can do something kind of clever here. He can actually
Stunner is Stunner.
Stun his own stunner so that he has a stunner for next turn. Because the Secret Passage returns whatever cards that you didn't use back to the deck. Not to mention that it's also a pump on his own questing adventure.
Yeah.
And now he just has Sap on a stick.
Ooh, dog. Heard you like stunners.
You're a stunner.
That questing is a stunner.
My hand is too full.
Killing all day draws Innervate.
That'll do it.
Very limited plays this turn. Not really much you can do. But Killen does have a lethal opportunity. Hero power down the questing adventurer.
Yep. That was a good spot on that lethal, Dan. I actually didn't see it right away. But yeah, Monsanto 2-0. One more game, and he meets ETC in the finals. You know, like, this is ETC. As much as I wanted to win, I had Muzzy in the favorite in that one, and this one was hard to call. But of course, I always pick Killen for a favorite. So, as far as my predictions go, it would be the two upsets if Monsanto goes through. Yeah, not so much on paper. I think Monsanto and Killen had like very similar seasons, like nearly identical. If you look at like their results and how they finished, they were even tied in standings. So
right. They're just the same person, DJ.
I mean, as far as their record goes, yeah, it's indistinguishable. You show me their deck list and their results, and you would not be able to tell which one was which, unless you're Lorinda and you look at that stuff all day.
A fun little hat in his closet that he's been saving for a special occasion.
Does he?
I don't know. I think so. You tell me Killen doesn't have a hat in his possession at all?
You asked for
I don't know. Killen has told me on multiple occasions that he hates hats. I'm just kidding. That's not true. Maybe it is true, actually, because he hasn't told me that he likes hats either.
Well, we are getting ready for the third game. Monsanto is playing good and looking good. Is there any other deadlier combos in Hearthstone?
Playing good and drawing good?
Playing good, drawing good, looking good, smelling good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The core 4 principles of Hearthstone.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of the core 4, Monsanto with a full keep.
Killen shakes his head at the 4 keep. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I have to reverse sweep this deck, and the first time I go up against it, he 4 keeps. Whew.
4 keep, which is interesting. I wasn't sure about the Consume Magic. I do like the Marrow Slicer, Shard Shatter, Mystic, because it does help you deal with really early board flood, in case your opponent finds a way to generate a ton of that stuff with Sorcerer's Apprentice and Mana Cyclone. But the Consume Magic is definitely cool, and I think it was mainly because it was in the outcast position.
Yeah.
And he anticipated that Killing All Day is going to be looking for 1-drops like Spellwing, if he can, Lab Partner, or even just having the ability to respond to like an Astromancer Solarian on 2.
Man, I think it's still a good hand. Yeah, the Consume Magic and Outcast position, usually the first minion that Mage plays is a reasonable silence target, right? Unless it's like Wand Maker, but
I wonder.
I don't mind the keep, and aggressively cycling that is good. It's just like a mulligan with an upside, I suppose. Now Killen though, with the 4 keep, you have to start thinking about like what your strategy starts to become if your strategy changes. Like if you assume that your opponent has every answer that they would want in the matchup in their opening hand, what does that look like? Like from Killen's perspective, what is it? I think Shard Shatter Mystic is probably one of them. In any tempo matchup, it's a card that you keep. But Killen also has not seen any shuffles of Soul Fragment, so I feel like he can play for tempo here and go for Kobold Geomancer and... Oh, okay. I was going to say Kobold Geomancer Wand Thief, but he just goes for the Kobold Geomancer and Freeze to really push tempo. This is interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I guess it protects his spell damage minions? With
Right.
Magic Trick, it means he has the upside of hitting Cram Session. Huh.
Yeah, I guess from his perspective that he wants to just stay ahead on board as best as he can. So if he can protect his spell damage or his 2 health minions, he can find a way to stay ahead and get this chip damage in while he has the board. Oh no. 3 reactive secrets that he doesn't really want right now. But I guess the Ice Barrier is good for later in the game.
Yeah.
But it's like so far down the line,
Ooh.
right? Like Cram Session. TJ rewarded. Rewarded.
Like that. That's why he made that play. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool to see that rewarded. His board's going to get cleaned up quite nicely by the Shard Shatter Mystic, but at least Killen can walk away with some additional resources. And he does have follow-up. The Ice Barrier did not look that good. I mean, it was the best choice out of those 3. But it looks a lot better now that he can play a little bit proactively and then use the Ice Barrier to buy more time once he needs to go for kind of that finishing blow. From Monsanto's perspective, Shard Shatter Mystic, and then he has the... well, he could go for Blade Dance. There's a lot to think about, right? Is it Shard Shatter Mystic? 2, if it's Shard Shatter Mystic, do you actually attack? Or do you just double jump and hold the weapon swing again? I don't know if there's a huge incentive to attack here while you do have Aldraki Warblades in hand. Like always making sure you have a weapon equipped and enough damage to Blade Dance a big target is incredibly crucial.
Yes. I agree. Sorry, I was laughing because it seemed like your puppers really appreciate your analysis, TJ.
Yeah, man, he was pissed.
He was just like, no, that's not true at all.
It scared me. He was like right next to me.
Yes. It sounded like it was. Oh, I didn't realize this was a TriCast. That's what we need, TJ. Between games, can we get a 3rd caster cam? Just on TJ's pups. Actually, just he has 2 big ones, so just have
Well,
them replaced.
I mean, they're all big
TJ's
now. I don't have it. Our youngest dog is a year old. So we have a 4-year-old. They're all Australian Shepherds. One's 4, one is 2, one is 1.5, and one is 1.
Can you quantify? I only measure time in priest mirrors now.
That's a lot. They're like a couple
like
thousand priest mirrors old.
Your
I don't
first dog
know.
is like 10 priest mirrors. 15. Blade Dance coming out of here. I think Monsanto has to clear off these minions, especially Mozaki. Mozaki is super threatening. And if you're going to be swinging, I think you want to commit to this.
Yeah.
I also think it's totally fine to go face the 5 and chip into or cash in the...
Yep, because that's what you're holding onto the weapon swings for, to make sure that you have one for Blade Dance.
Whoa! Right on time!
Right on, well, I mean, not right on time. Next turn would have been right on time. He's a little early, but better early than late. What Mama Sanders always told me.
Fair enough. You know what Mama Sanders told me? Thank you for helping my son Thomas. I met her one time.
My mom has never called me Thomas. Not a single time in my entire life has my mom called me Thomas.
Wow, I'm just paraphrasing. She says some other really nice things. Mainly about you, but turns out TJ has a mom that loves him very much.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, Monsanto starts off with the Wand Maker, finds another Consume Magic just to draw and cycle cards here. I guess he's just going to test for the secret. And from
It's the
here,
nod.
Monsanto's been wanting to develop minions, but this is starting to get a little bit annoying. He could also redevelop his weapon, so he could swing with the Draki Warblade, and then, with the Marrow Slicer, and then set up the Draki Warblade, because he does have a lot of things that want to start attacking, which implies that he wants to be attacking every single turn. Ends up splitting the difference, removing a little bit. No need to put yourself in that position right now.
I have become one.
Oh, he's just gonna go for it. I was about to go into some
wow.
deep rant about how I don't know if this is the right time for it, but power of creation.
DJ.
Blizzard.
Just ask if it's the right time for it. How dare you?
That is sick. That is a
How
solid
dare
Solarium
you.
Prime.
Is Monsanto just dead? He drew one of his soul fragments right before he drew Sociologist Militia.
There's only 2 soul fragments left.
Wow.
Means only enough to kill off the mirror image. He can Chaos Strike. Wait, he also got a. Just realized he got Frostbolt from Dome of Intellect. That's the best one. The best spell
Yes.
in this matchup.
All right, well, just gotta survive and hope that the problem is that killinallday has 1 Solarium Prime in his deck, and Monsanto has 0.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a deck building victory for Killen, honestly. Yeah.
So there's 7,
that's enough.
20, 21, 24.
Game 4.
The Frostbolt. GG. Game number 3 in the books. Very fast Solarium Prime victories. Can Solarium Prime be stopped? Monsanto will still be playing the Demon Hunter, but now killinallday can go to his Druid or his Rogue for game number 4. It's still, he's staying alive. It's the most important thing right now, just staying alive and getting a chance to play ETC in the finals.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the toughest matchup, I think, remaining for him. You can make an argument for Rogue. I think the Druid matchup is probably the best one, at least on paper, right? The dynamic has changed since Guardian Animals went to 8 mana, and the decks have kind of changed. And we don't have a huge sample size of that matchup anymore, but it still just feels good because the Druid does have healing. If they hit ramp, they can get big minions early. They can get out of range of potential blade dances. Iron Barks are pretty core to the deck, so I think that's the hardest matchup out of the way, but it's still an uphill climb because none of these matchups are great against Demon Hunter, and Demon Hunter has been one of the more consistent decks throughout the weekend. So 1 down, still 2 to go. Still definitely favor Monsanto to win this series in the position that he's in. And Killen was not very good at finding ramp in the previous game. I can imagine this is a throw away all of them except for the light. Yep, there he is. Looking for Guardian Animals, looking for Overgrowth. Looking for big gas.
Oh, yeah. The biggest. Maybe some of that gas coming out of that lightning bloom right now. There's a lot of energy emitting from that thing. Monsanto, Wandmaker, and Marrow Slicer. Definitely a making of a good early opening hand. killinallday has the Overgrowth, though.
But nothing else.
Pick the one, silly.
Just kidding.
Yeah, that's actually huge. So now, what's the best way to go about it? If he overgrowths now, next turn he'll have 4 mana crystals, 2 are overloaded. Then he has a turn 5 Lake Thresher or 5 mana Lake Thresher.
Yeah, you in this matchup, it's not crucial that you get the ramp out early, because you're not even going to have, at least from my opinion, you don't even have anything to attack into.
Right. Right.
So it's like it feels wasted. You kind of got to read the game state and then go based on that. But I kind of like, if nothing's played here, he can coin out Overgrowth now, and then if he needs to, then Lightning Bloom into Guardian Animals.
I like it. I like it. And I guess from Killen's perspective, he's trying to think if he needs to or not, versus just chilling this turn. But Overgrowth sets him up for success. And Monsanto does come up on a turn where he generally doesn't want to play too many minions. Turn 4 is one of the more awkward ones historically for Demon Hunter. Usually they have historically been much better on the odd cost of turns.
I grow impatient.
Interesting moment here for Monsanto. He has so many weapon swings that it's arguable that he should just start getting the swings in sooner rather than later.
Yeah. But he doesn't have Blade Dance either. Like, I don't think it's necessary to attack yet. Because next turn you want a Soul Shard Lapidary and hit, and then you still want to hold on to the opportunity of being able to Blade Dance a potential Guardian Animals turn. Even though he doesn't have it, you kind of have to plan into those. From Killen's perspective, I don't want a Guardian Animals because there's a Marosizer equipped that didn't attack. You're playing right into like a Twin Slice Blade Dance or even just a Blade Dance if you Guardian Animals, and it feels like he does need the resources from the card draw. I mean, he picked up Overflow, but he would be going into 6 mana if he Lightning Bloomed, or 5 mana, excuse me, if he Lightning Bloomed out Guardian Animals that turn. So just has to go for this Lake Thresher. Lake Thresher opens up the opportunity, if Monsanto continues to play slow, for Killen to just Overflow next turn instead of Guardian Animals. I don't necessarily like that, because then you could pull some beasts out of your deck. But that also, if Monsanto's the one that's picking that pace, you're going to match it because you're just going to be playing bigger stuff later on in the game.
Yeah, makes sense.
Monsanto, this one is a little tough. He doesn't have a clean way to kill the Lake Thresher. My instinct is just to, like, Soul Shard Lapidary and smack him. But
yeah, I like that. I think I just want to start pressuring the Druid life total here because it's not worth sinking this 9 damage into the Thresher. Oh, he's gonna just use the Glade Bound instead. That is damage overkill, but looks like Monsanto does end up wanting to take this a little bit slower. Understandable to want to do so. Killinallday going for the Guardian Animals. Gets the ability to draw cards, has the ability to establish more tempo on the board through the Anubisat Defender.
Yep, Nature Studies actually allows him to play Overflow next turn, even through the overloaded mana crystals without expending any of the resources as well. So still not like just a straight up game winning position for Killen, because Monsanto's not using that many resources to kind of deal with this board. It's not like Monsanto had an early game board lead and then Killen used the guardian animals to stop the pressure and draw cards. Like it wasn't a swing. Because Monsanto right now is... Oh, wow. So just hard cast the skull because he realizes that he needs Blade Dance and can't wait. And hits both Blade Dances. So this is kind of the turning point. Because Monsanto can now set up pushes each and every turn with Blade Dances to back it up. So I really like the way Monsanto's played this. Just like, take it slow. Don't swing. Don't push face damage if you don't have to. Keep the board in check. Draw as many cards as possible. And now, like, I feel like he's in a good position because he just has answers to everything. He gets, for multiple turns in a row, he can answer board and push damage. But, you know, Killen's at 30.
Yeah, Killen is very healthy, and overall, like, this is a position where I don't feel like Druid loses very often because there's just too much quality of stuff coming out from the Druid side. And Monsanto could go for the Blade Dance that he was saving up for, but as we know, there's a lot more where that came from. So the Showstar Lapidary Blade Dance is kind of the first thing that he was thinking about and saving up for a while.
I grow impatient.
Trying to think about if there's any alternative plays, because that, you know, a lot of times with the pros in this position, they see something that they could do, but then they think about, is there anything better to do? Like, is it Shard Shatter Mystic instead? Like Shard Shatter Mystic
clean
gives
right
him
now.
the ability to Soul Shear, and then he can just swing with his weapon instead of having to commit Blade Dance.
Yeah, I mean,
That works.
that does work. But they're not pushing the issue, right? Like I feel like you need to. Yeah, I mean, he has played it slow so far and it's worked out. It's just. No. The more I think about it, the more I like this actually. Because even with like Survival of the Fittest, wait, what? He did it anyway.
Well, yeah, okay, so the reason why I didn't like the Blade Dance, or sorry, the swing, was because then his second Blade Dance is stranded, and you would have to set up a weapon, or just be okay with the Soul Shard Lapidary, plus the hero power, which chances are it's not if your opponent plays an exotic Mount Solar turn. What I don't like about the Soul Shard Mystic is that it also makes it so that, like, these random brooms and stuff are going to be a lot more effective as potential soft counters to a Blade Dance.
Yeah.
So now you lose that Shower Shadow Mystic to clean up the small things before you Blade Dance. That's what I didn't like about the play. I think it's kind of close, actually, because what this allows him to do is still play reactive, but, like, I feel as if Monsanto is hoping that Killen has a dead turn, and he really does not. This is a powerful turn with Survival of the Fittest, utilizing that interaction which had been recently patched into Hearthstone with Forest Warden Omu and the Spell Burst, giving you the full mana crystals, counting the ramp that you have. So since he innervated and he had 9 mana, it counts as 10. And that allows him to play Survival of the Fittest. Really good execution of knowledge based off that change.
Yep. And it presents big enough threats to where this will likely force out another Blade Dance if it's there. I don't know if Monsanto can afford to take this damage. He does have the answer to it. It's just, you know, now we're starting to get to that point where, you know, this the slow play, the greed on the weapon swings, while it worked out for a while and it's allowed him to hold on to resources to make sure he can deal with whatever board state Killen presents. He hasn't dealt a single point of damage. So there's no clock.
I grow
30 is a big number. Monsanto can create a lot of big numbers. He can make the big noise when he hits Killen in the face.
The shake,
that second Blade Dance.
Shake.
Guardian animals. There is a just a teacher's pet left.
Still a really big minion, though.
Yeah, I mean,
No matter what
if
he
you look
plays,
at it,
Twilight
if you
Runner.
take teacher's pet, give it rush and +4/+4, that's worth 8 mana.
Agreed.
So
Why not just draw it naturally?
yeah, that too. And now there is no Blade Dances left. So he had a clear with Shard Shatter Mystic. Or with Shard Shatter Mystic and Soul Shear, the turn that he used the other Blade Dance. And now he doesn't. Oh my gosh, Consume Magic off the top. Oh no, it's a Shard Shatter Mystic, it's not Consume Magic. Demon Companion. He does...
Looking for it, but he doesn't
Wow.
find it, and that's going to be a concede. Killen brings it all the way back. We're going to another Game 5, TJ. And Killen is at the doorstep for the reverse sweep against Demon Hunter, one of the most consistent decks in the past month in Hearthstone. And now we have Rogue remaining here for Killen.
Yeah, and this matchup's tough to call because Rogue can sometimes run away with games. They can do that against any class. A big Edwin against anybody, a big Quest against anybody can just win games. But they have no way to defend themselves, like naturally in the deck. The hard part is when you're dealing with these annoying board states as the Demon Hunter from the Rogue, where it's just a bunch of small stuff that's keep attacking you and trying to find the balance of pushing face damage or trying to deal with all these annoying things. That can also be a problem. So, and of course, Rogue always has that X factor of, what comes out of the Wand Thief? What can Shadow Jeweler Hanar pull from the random secrets? Can it pull misdirections and ice barriers to be able to get that heal? There's so much that can happen. It's in this metagame, this is one of the many matchups that's tough to call because of just how much stuff can happen that makes that game unique over every other game in that matchup. Demon Hunter versus a lot of things is pretty straightforward because Demon Hunter operates with the cards in their deck. But as soon as you start to add in extra layers to that, like the Rogue has, it starts to get more difficult. Backstab Edwin. That combination's won a lot of championships.
That's right. It's a pretty solid potential opening hand, but Killen's missing a few key pieces. He would want a secret. He would want a way to generate a card that's cheap and also from a different class. Monsanto has a great curve. I mean, he had a 1, 2, 3, 4 in game number 3 that was like, okay. This is very close to the ideal hand for almost any Demon Hunter matchup, period. Having the ability to play...
especially Rogue, because he's got the answer to Edwin. With Consume Magic. I said earlier, Consume Magic has a suspiciously high win rate when kept in the mulligan against Rogue. And that's primarily because the biggest threats in Rogue are Questing and Edwin.
I mean, it does seem like a way that you can instantly stop the momentum from your opponent, and they invested cards, right? Like, part of the reason why they play all these big combinations with Edwin is to make it a really powerful minion that Consume Magic stops it. Monsanto picks up Double Jump, but sees that he's played Plagiarize. He's like, wait, It's not a dirty tricks.
Yeah, you don't expect Plagiarize that early, especially against Demon Hunter, because there's such a high upside for waiting on Plagiarize against Demon Hunter, because you can get like twin slices and just straight up damage. But I think Killen just realized that he needed some additional resources here to try and beef up this Edwin.
Okay, finds Nether Breath. Potentially a pretty important card if he finds a way to get Dragon into his hand. Part of what makes this matchup tricky is that there is this element where like Demon Hunter stops caring about the board and just starts crushing the Rogue's face because they just don't have enough defenses to stop the amount of pressure and damage that can combo them out of the game. All right, is it Edwin time?
Looks like it. No time like the present.
No time like the present. It's not going to be the craziest results because we do know about that consume magic. But still, it's definitely a scary thing to face, and he's still ahead on the board even after Monsanto consumes magic.
Yeah, but problem is it's just a lot of resources invested that just gets shut down by, you know, one of the most valuable silence cards like, you know, ever, right? That's why it's limited to Demon Hunter only, because you get to draw a card if it's an outcast position. That's why a lot of players have been taking in the card. You getting a solid glimpse into what makes it strong in the current metagame. A lot of good silence targets. And now kind of back to square one for Killen, and I feel like this is like the world is Monsanto's oyster right now. He's got so many ways to try and fight for board. He's got ways to start pushing damage. It's just, you know, can he find the mana to be able to do that quickly before Killen's able to mount another offensive? The Wind Guardian's good. Wind Guardian's very, very hard to deal with because of the way the removal works for Demon Hunters. Is Blade Dance usually gets to push through anything, but the Death Rattle, he can't hit it with a Soul Shear. He has to like attack into it twice, or Blade Dance and then attack into it. But that's a long ways away. Well, those are dragons.
Whoa. Yeah, those are dragons.
Gotta
Murzond
be
also
Murzond.
is interesting.
Gotta be.
Right. Lucenbark, you never heal.
Yeah. Well, you can heal with Murzond. You play Murzond when they equip an Eldraki Warblade, and then you get that healing yourself.
Right.
Nethrandamus is like this interesting card as well, because that's like just so much immediate power most of the time if stuff keeps dying.
Right. It's like the Druid thing, right? Like, Druid just has sometimes too many big minions for the Demon Hunter to clear, and they just die. That's kind of what happened last game. Maybe there's an opportunity with this Nethrandamus as well. And how fitting would it be to use a Demon Hunter card against Demon Hunter? You're gonna do it.
Wow. I would have snap picked Murs on there just because of the potential upside of getting Eldraki Warblades, but I understand the Nethrandamus because if you're expecting to kind of like go blow for blow and kind of go even for the large part of the mid game, then minions are going to be dying. Nethrandamus might be that play that just, okay, you kill me or I kill you.
Demons. Demons.
Well, Monsanto has the opportunity to just kind of put pressure onto the board here. Soulshell Lapidary sends 7 down to the Rogue.
Backstab Nether Breath. But that's his whole turn. He gets the dagger up as well, I suppose.
Right. No secret makes it really sad. I wonder if it's worth at all. Just playing the Shadow Druhanar, probably not. Just to absorb a little bit of damage, because you really feel like that Shadow Druhanar could be able to generate the secret recipe to get you out of the situation. Or get you out of this game, because it might give you ice barriers and ways to really pump up your life total or disrupt Monsanto.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to play on his next couple turns. So Wind Guardian is almost certainly coming down on 7. So you're not, even if you draw a secret, you're not playing Shadow Jewel Hanar there. 8 mana is the turn where there's just not a play right now. That's where it could fit in if you draw a secret over the next 2 turns. but I just don't know if that's worth it, right? Having the board presence might be better.
Wow, Monsanto seeing the lifesteal. He also knows about the dragon in hand. And I think that caught Monsanto off guard. And this is the part of the series where you start to really wonder, like, is this reverse sweep actually happening? There's no way Monsanto could have played around that card.
Demons. Demons.
Whew.
And from here, he does pick up the Glaive-bound Adept, and I'm thinking about just playing it and trying to have some of the tempo. He's going to immediately start to think about the other possible plays. He does have Double Jump. Double Jump will fish out the Skull Dance. We can do it now while his opponent's still setting up. But like anything, I feel like when you're playing a tempo-based deck, where you're trying to play a little bit more aggressive as Demon Hunter, Skull Gul'dan generally is better after you've played your cards, so that you can use it to finish the game as opposed to trying to combo your opponent. We're past the days where you would want to use Skull Gul'dan to like combo a bunch of cards together for one-turn kills.
Sometimes it happens, though. So, I mean, it's kind of at a crossroads here, right? Like, this is so inefficient for him to have to remove. He has the option of Kayn and pushing through, but then Kayn just dies and he's back to square one. If he double jumps skulls, then maybe he finds a better way to deal with it, but then it gets to get a value trade in the following turn. It's a lot of damage to push with a... You're not going to have a Glaive-bound Adept on board very often to be able to push through with Kayn. Ooh, he's pushing 9. He's bringing him down to 10.
You're right.
9. I mean, he's got Blade Dance. He's going to have minions on board.
Okay, Dragon's Horde.
I feel like this turn always starts with Dragon's Horde.
Yes. King Crush? What? Disciplinarian Ganling is particularly interesting, but I think I like the idea of King Crush in my hand. Because I don't think I want to play that Ganling this turn, because I want to play the Evil Miscreant and other things, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's pretty significant, because now Killen can use his Goblin Lackey and Kobold Lackey to remove the board.
Choose soon.
Monsanto unhappy, to say the least. And we do end up playing the Shadow Juhanar. Fourth minion making Blade Dance awkward for Monsanto. Monsanto was hoping for a lethal opportunity. Chaos Strike, Twin Slice, Hero Power. It still actually can happen, TJ.
How many Soul Fragments? 1.
Wait, does he have it?
No,
No,
he
he
doesn't
can't-
have enough damage. Because even if he goes
doesn't have
Soul
it
Shear,
guaranteed. He doesn't have it guaranteed. If he Twin Slice, Second Slice, Hero Power, he has 7 damage from his attack, plus a 2 from the Manfield Panthera. So the only roadblock is the Winged Guardian. But if he Blade Dances twice over, there's no guarantee that it'll be able to hit. But if he does, Monsanto has a chance to win the game right here, right now.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he blade danced twice. I mean, he spotted it, right?
Oh,
Yep, that's it.
And he gets it, which means Monsanto has spotted the lethal, and with the coin and the hero power, is going to be able to land it. And we have ourselves our second grand finalist for Season 2. Monsanto defeats killinallday, prevents the reverse sweep, and he's able to finally stop the comeback as Monsanto will be joining ETC in the grand finals.
Now Monsanto's got a little bit more ammo on Twitter.
Oh, that's right.
Which I think is the important takeaway from the victory in that series. I mean, if he wins the whole thing, then he can back it up for real. But definitely impressive performance. I didn't spot that last one right away, but even though the Druid game, don't think he could have played that much differently. Ended up just being like shaky on that one turn. Everything else, that game was super clean. Set up as much damage as he possibly could, and like the way that he played that. And the Demon Hunter, while it took him 3 tries to get it, still was able to pull through, despite that me saying that the Druid, I think, had like an overall favorite to win the series, because Monsanto was able to take some wins in the other tougher matchups with those expected decks of Mage versus Rogue. But yeah, it's set. ETC versus Monsanto. One of those players head to the World Championship. ETC, the Division B through play-ins, through the lower bracket in groups, the undefeated dream win streak to the World Championship the year that you're retiring is still alive.
Very much so. So that is going to set the stage for our 2 final